The Villisca Axe Murders. On a quiet summer night in a small Iowa town, 6 children and 2 adults went to sleep, expecting an ordinary morning. Instead, the sunrise revealed one of the most horrifying crime scenes in American history. No one heard the screams, no one saw the killer leave, and more than a century later, no one has ever been convicted. The Villisca Axe Murders remain one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries, a case filled with fear, rumors, questionable investigations, and suspects whose names are still debated today. This is the true story of what happened inside a small white house on the night of June 9, 1912. Villisca, Iowa, was the kind of place where neighbors knew each other by name. In 1912, around 2,500 people lived there. Families left their doors unlocked. Children played outside until sunset. Serious crime was almost unheard of. Among the town's respected residents was Josiah Moore. He was 43 years old and owned a successful business. His wife, Sarah, was known as a caring mother. Together they were raising 4 children: Herman, Katherine, Boyd, and little Paul. On Sunday, June 9th, the Moore family attended church like many others in town. 2 sisters, Lena and Stillinger, accepted Katherine Moore's invitation to spend the night after the evening service. Nothing about that day suggested history was about to take a dark turn. After church, the families walked home. The Moore house became unusually full that evening. Josiah and Sarah slept downstairs. The 4 Moore children and the 2 Stillinger sisters slept upstairs. Sometime after midnight, someone entered the home. Investigators later concluded that the killer used an axe belonging to Josiah Moore. The victims were attacked while they slept. Evidence at the scene suggested the murderer remained inside the house for some time after the killings. Investigators found that mirrors had been covered with clothing. Windows were also covered. A piece of bacon was reportedly left in the kitchen, and a bowl of bloody water indicated the killer may have washed before leaving. These strange details have puzzled investigators for more than 100 years. The following morning, neighbors noticed something unusual. The Moore family had not started their daily routine. At first, no one imagined the truth. Within hours, the quiet town of Villisca would never be the same. Part 2 reveals the evidence, the investigation, and what happened next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Part 2. On the morning of June 10, 1912, a neighbor named Mary Peckham became concerned when she noticed the Moore family had not come outside. The house was unusually quiet. Curtains remained closed. That was not like them. After receiving no response at the front door, she asked Josiah Moore's brother, Ross Moore, to check the home. Ross unlocked the front door and stepped inside. Almost immediately, he realized something was terribly wrong. He walked into the downstairs bedroom and found Josiah and Sarah Moore dead in their bed. Both had suffered devastating injuries. Shocked, Ross ran outside and called for help before anyone else entered farther into the house. Soon, law enforcement arrived. As officers searched the upstairs rooms, the full horror became clear. Herman, Katherine, Boyd, and Paul Moore had all been killed. In another bedroom, Lena and Stillinger were also found dead. 8 victims, not one survivor. News spread through Villisca within minutes. Residents rushed toward the Moore home. Before long, hundreds of people surrounded the property. In 1912, crime scenes were not protected the way they are today. Curious neighbors, reporters, and even local officials walked through the house. Potential evidence was disturbed or destroyed before investigators could properly document it. That mistake would haunt the investigation for generations. Despite the damaged crime scene, investigators documented several unusual details. The murder weapon was identified as Josiah Moore's own axe, left inside the house after the killings. Bed coverings had been pulled over several victims' faces. Mirrors throughout the home had been covered with clothing, and some windows were also concealed. Investigators also noted signs suggesting the killer had remained inside the house after the murders instead of fleeing immediately. Why someone would stay in a home after committing such a brutal crime remains one of the case's greatest mysteries. The medical evidence available in 1912 was limited. There was no DNA testing, no fingerprint databases, and no modern forensic science. Detectives had to rely almost entirely on witness interviews, physical observations, and confessions. As newspapers across America reported the massacre, public pressure grew rapidly. Everyone wanted answers, and before long, investigators began focusing on several suspects. Some appeared suspicious because of their behavior. Others became targets because of rumors or personal conflicts. But separating fact from speculation would prove far more difficult than anyone expected. The search for the killer had only just begun. The darkest part of this story is still to come. Subscribe to the Crime After Dark and don't miss part 3. Goodbye, see you.